We all know that one of the biggest costs of raising a child is their education. That is, if you decide this is something you are in fact going to pay for or help pay for. And to help us understand what is involved, we are joined by Dilys DeCruz, Vice President of Community Banking for Meridian. Welcome to What She Said.
Thanks so much.
Now, Dilys, let's start at the beginning. How early is too early, and is it ever too late?
Well, great question. So it's never too early. So as soon as you have a baby, I would suggest opening up an RESP account, a Registered Education Savings Plan account, and start saving and put money away. However, to answer the second part of your question, if you haven't done that because you've got so many things to do and so many bills to pay and so many things to consider, it's never too late, because the nice part about this program is that you can get in at any point in time and you can do catch up if you've missed a few years. So,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So the way this works is you can get free money from the government.
That's always good.
Yeah.
And so we should take advantage of that. So the government allows you to get $500 a year in a grant. And so it's really 20% of what you contribute to a max of $500, which works out to $2,500 a year. So if you put in $2,500 a year, you get $500 to a max lifetime of $7,200. The nice thing about that is if you've had, let's say you've just bought a house or you've had some big expenses and you just can't find that money to put away, you actually can catch up and put in past contributions to get that grant in. So that is really nice for people to do and to know about. And the government keeps track of it. So you can phone this central number and they will tell you what your catch-up room is.
So is it just limited to parents, or can grandparents contribute to an RESP?
Yeah, so absolutely anybody can contribute to an RESP. So the parents should open it up, as a matter of fact, grandparents can open it up and anybody can contribute. And so that's a nice way to do it. When you think about grandparents and birthdays and all the money that comes in, anybody can contribute to the plan.
Now, I have two for my grandchildren, but my stepdaughter also has them for them. And I've just signed over. You sign over, basically she manages it. So the money will go back to her for the first year, because it's complicated how it works. You get your initial contribution the first year.
Yeah.
And then the interest goes to the child the second, third, and fourth year.
Right.
So
yeah.
I just signed it over so they can deal with her. So
yeah,
it's great.
and that's a fantastic point, because quite often, you have a baby, you're tied for expenses or you're tight for expenses, and grandparents want to help out in some way, and sometimes they're giving you money to put in the bank, or you have christenings and all those events. And, a great thing to do is have grandparents open up, just like you did, Christine, open up an account and contribute to it, because, again, you have the benefit of the grant and you have the benefit of being tax-free and accumulating interest tax-free.
But the child has to have a social insurance number first.
Yes.
That's key.
Yes. So that's a matter of applying for it right away, which you can do. Once you get that number, you're good to go.
Most people don't understand how much it costs anymore to educate a child. Let's say 4 years. Is that sort of the average? What is the estimate, the current estimate?
Yeah, so I'm putting my son through university right now, so I can speak firsthand. But, the number can be anywhere $60,000 upwards for a 4-year program. And that's probably on the light side if they're not going away. I would say that if they are going away and you've got residence to pay for and food, if they're renting, it can be $80,000, at least $20,000 a year, I think, is the number if they're in residence.
And goodness help you if they want to go to a U.S. university.
Yeah.
That's right. Which one of mine did. A 3-year program crammed into 12 months.
Yeah. Yeah. So you feel the pain.
And then an internship in New York for a year with no money coming in. No.
But look at him now.
Yeah. No, it's a good investment, but I'm just saying it can, if you didn't put anything away for it.
Yeah. And so I think that, again, this is a great program because you can get $7,200 in grant money. It accumulates tax-free, and it just, helps you set your kids up for success and less strain on yourself as well. Now, the flip side is that you hope that your kids are contributing as well, and you tell them to get that summer job to contribute. But this is a fantastic program.
But what happens if they don't want to go to university when they get there?
Yeah. So, there's different ways of doing it. So firstly, you can set up an individual individual plan, or if you have more than one child, you can set up a family plan. So if one child doesn't go, you can reallocate that money. But if you have one child and one plan and they decide not to go, that money can be transferred back. So the contributor, the parent, can transfer it into their RRSP, and the grant money would get paid back, or you can just cash it in. But you basically lose the grant money that was given for education purposes.
Now, in the days when I bought for my children, that wasn't possible. So what if your child didn't go? They took that money and put it into a pool for kids who were then applying for a fifth year.
Oh, okay.
But so
you lost it.
Well, I didn't lose it because they used it, but I'm
if
saying
they
I
didn't
would
use
have.
it, yeah.
I would have, but that was the only option at the time. But they've since, it's sort of, they're different things, different little twists and turns.
Yeah, since this program came out, they made it actually really, really quite easy and flexible for you to contribute. And in the case that they don't go, it's not like you're losing the money that you put in and the money that you've gained interest on as well. It's just the grant, which is fair enough that you'd have to pay back.
So, Dilys, if you were giving advice to a parent, would you say over contribute or under contribute slightly? I under contributed. I figured it was going to do the bulk of it and I would top it up. But what would you suggest in today's?
I would say max out on the $2,500.
Okay.
So at minimum, get as much as you can, get the full amount the government's going to give you, and max out. And then if you want to go back and again make more contributions, you can do that. But at minimum, try and get that $2,500 in. A good way to do it is also setting up pre-authorized payments, right? Transfers. So again, I'm a big advocate of this. Is coordinate that with your pay. If you get paid biweekly, maybe start off with $25 or $50 coming off biweekly, goes into the RESP account. It's painless, and then you can start increasing it as well.
So for somebody who is expecting a baby and thinking this is a great idea, let's take them through the steps of how to open an RESP.
Yeah, so I think the first thing you want to do as soon as the baby comes is get the social insurance, but get into an advisor. I'm always, again, advocating getting in to talk to a financial advisor to plan ahead of time to understand specifically what is it you can afford. If you're having a baby, it might be a little bit tight. So early days, you might not contribute right away, but they can put you on a plan to start thinking about, okay, maybe after year one, I can start tucking away a little bit at a time and then start increasing it. So highly recommend getting into an advisor as soon as you can, even before that baby comes, and start talking about the various plans that you want to look at investing in.
Yeah, and I think people need to realize you can start with as little as $20 a week, right? It's not like you have to you have to give a lot. And then say you're putting in $100 a month over 17 years, that's amounts to a lot of money.
Yeah, and the grant's in there as well too. So again, is start small, because I think we get intimidated, generally speaking, about, oh my God, I know I was really intimidated. $80,000, how am I going to afford that, right? But you start small and it starts accumulating, and again, you can continue to increase that as you go.
Should parents or should parents not contribute? I guess the answer is,
well, it's up to you. I mean, I guess it's a personal decision. But I think that there's something to be said in having children also pay for their education and be part of that partnership as well too, because it's their ownership as well. They learn life skills in how to manage money, to save. We're really teaching them for when they get out there and they're in the real world and they have to manage their own money. So I think my personal view is it's a joint partnership in education. But I think that's each individual has their own view on it.
So, Dilys, where can people reach out and connect with you or someone from Meridian to continue this conversation or start another one?
Yeah, absolutely. So check out our website, meridiancu.ca, and we have our branches located on there. You can just put in your location and have a branch closest to you and go in and talk to an advisor. They can help you plan ahead.